liberals need to stand up for liberal principles.
Stand up! Peace, love, unity, respect, violence,
The news. All these stories about terrorist attacks going on around the world and the rise of extremism. It's scary stuff, eh? But ultimately nothing to worry about. You know, you go to bed at night and somewhere in the world they've got the smartest minds working to foil all these plots. Probably in a control room like in CSI where it all looks like the deck of the Starship Enterprise. Yeah? Well, if you think that, you'd be dead fucking wrong. Alright, so get this. My friend invites me to play some airsoft with him. Now, airsoft, if you don't know, is basically the same thing as paintball, only you don't fire paintballs, you fire BBs, and the guns look like replicas of real-life guns. So I'm all up for it, getting all excited and that, and my friend, he sends me some pictures of his guns. Now, guns are cool, right? Give anyone a gun, and within 2 seconds, they'll be toting it like it's Rambo 3. We've all done it. I'm sure like loads of your friends have posted at least one picture in their life of them, you know, rocking a piece. Ain't no big deal. So likewise, I posted a picture of said airsoft guns onto Twitter with a caption, "Sunday's gonna be big," you know, just for a bit of a laugh. Thought nothing of it. Anyway, so next day I'm at MMA training. Had a good sesh, it was really good. And then I left there, walked outside, went over to my car. And when I get there, this van, it comes screaming down the street. Now I sort of step in to kind of let it go by, but it don't go by. It comes screeching right up to my bumper, headlights at full beam, and then I see all these like guys come piling out of it. So I'm figuring I must have pissed off some pikeys by parking too close to their driveway or something, you know? But then they start screaming, "Get on the fucking floor, get on the fucking floor." And I'm just thinking like, what the like, this is seriously the most elaborate mugging I've ever heard of. I look, and they've even gone to the effort of dressing up in police hats and getting some quite realistic looking automatic rifles that they're pointing at me. Anyway, so they get me on the ground and they're all shouting, "Don't move your fucking hands, put your fucking hands behind your back." And I'm like, well, which one? Make your fucking mind up. You know what I mean? I'm getting pissed off at this point. And then I look up, right? One geezer's dressed in a DHL delivery driver's outfit. And I'm thinking, well, he ain't even got the right costume on. Well, where's his costume? He's in a wash or something. Like, this is all very surreal. So they slapped the cuffs on me. I think they were trying to implant them into my wrists. How fucking tight they had them. And then they bring over this Clarice Starling agent character who tells me that I'm being arrested for possession of firearms with intent to cause harm and fear. And it's at this point the penny drops, and I tell him in no uncertain terms, "You fucking idiots, it's fucking airsoft. You're out of your fucking mind." And as I said that, you could feel the realization of what fools they'd been wash over them like a kind of tsunami of stupidity. Like, one minute they're acting all hard and clever, and the next minute they're just pure, you know? Now, little did I know at this point that they'd already been to see me that day. So it turns out that whilst I was between work and training, they'd already been to my flat with their entire troop of about 14 armed officers, dogs, drones, all pointing like machine guns at my house and that, sealed off the square, gone up to my flat, sledged the door, and raided my flat. And they went through everything. This is, hold up, I'll show you. This is one bag of evidence. This is a bag of evidence they took, right? They went through, they took like every SD card, every memory stick they could find. They took like iPads, old phones. They even found this. Like, this is a Nokia that I thought I'd lost like 10 years ago. I don't know where they found it, so thank you for finding it. It's a fucking fossil, do you know what I mean? And when I'm saying they went through everything, they went through everything. I'm talking like all my unmentionables. Like, after they went through that lot, they must have changed the APB to be on the lookout for a gimp with a gun. Like, even these DVDs, look, had them all in alphabetical order. Look at them now. Do they seem like they're in any kind of orderly fashion to you? Man. Anyway, back at this ambush, they got me in the back of the car and they're showing me the picture I tweeted saying, "Tell us where the guns are, tell us where the guns are." And I'm telling them, they're not real guns, they're airsoft guns. And they're saying, well, we need to verify that. And I say, well, maybe speak to a fucking weapons expert. Take a closer look at them pictures might be a good idea. Before you start sending an assault team raiding people's houses and snatching people off the street. Now, to the average Joe, sure, they might look like real weapons, but to a fucking expert, which you'd expect counter-terrorism agents to be, you think they'd have picked up on the fact that there is a fucking Airsoft brand Crytek logo on them guns. Not to mention, you can clearly see that those are not real magazines, they're BB holders. They also wanted access to my phone. Now, if you've seen a man's Instagram, right, that's but a mere tip of the iceberg as to the debauchery held upon that device. And not to mention, as they're asking me, right, I've got the notifications popping up from Snake Squad, and I've got like War Kettle talking about going to Israel. I'm like, fucking hell no. You think I'm going to give you the thumbs down and go scrolling through all the embarrassing shit on my phone? Nah, no fucking way. Then they wanted my friend's address, and I'm like, you think I'm going to give you my friend's address? No. If you get arrested after 6 PM anyway, like, you're going to be there all night. They take forever. So fuck it. No, I ain't done the crime, but I'll do the time rather than putting my dude through all that shit, you know? There was no way I was gonna snitch. So Agent Starling gets out of the car because she has to report to her superiors that I'm not playing ball. And you know when you're in the back of a taxi and it's kind of dragging on a bit and you ain't got much to say? I'm like, so you been busy? And I immediately answer my own question by saying, well, clearly fucking not if you're out here messing with me. You know, at this point it kind of still hadn't clicked that this was all for real. Because I've even looked and there was like an officer stood next to the car holding like an M4 or something, and I said to the guy in the car, I said, are these guns real? And I've looked and I swear the bullets were like 1.25 inches. Like, these dudes were all set to fucking kill me over a tweet. So eventually I ended up doing 14 hours in a cell. It weren't nothing to me, it was like going home. I was a bad man in jail. Ask Carlos. Although this time it was a little bit nasty because obviously they'd nabbed me coming out of training, and all I was wearing was like rash guard and shorts, and not only was I drenched in my own sweat but also the sweat of about 6 other dudes, so that was pretty nasty. But I got in there, you know, got my head down, did my time, did a bit of shadow boxing, a bit of hide and seek, and then me and the geezer in the next cell, we started a little samba band on the cell door, so good laugh in the end, and came away with a nice new pair of flip-flops, so not so bad in the end. So eventually I'm told that I'm to be released without charge as I'd done nothing wrong. Who'd have thought? Now, as they're releasing me and giving me all my property back, the counter-terrorism agent guy, he had something very interesting to say. He said, I don't want to preach, but when you post a picture like that with this vague caption of Sunday's going to be big, plus your tweeting history is a little right-wing, when we see that, we have to act. And then he starts talking about New Zealand and Sri Lanka.
Well, what about the massacres in Sri Lanka, honey? Doesn't that affect us too? I mean, do you know anything about Sri Lanka? How, like, the Sikhs are killing, like, tons of Israelis over there?
Come on, Bryce. There are a lot more important problems than Sri Lanka to worry about.
Like what?
So I'm thinking, oh, interesting. So let's break that down. Now, first up, as I said, there are tons of pictures online that people have posted of them with guns. And 99% of the time, no one gives a shit. So why me? Especially in the case where the guns I posted can clearly be identified as imitations. So there's that. So the next thing, that caption, Sunday's gonna be big. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't deny for a minute that tweet wasn't supposed to be a little bit spicy, but that's just fun for people that follow me. It wasn't a threat directed at anyone. And there's absolutely zero evidence to suggest that it was. Now, I appreciate that all my tweets are public, but I'm not some sort of popular public figure or some famous YouTuber. I'm just like some average dude talking shit on Twitter like millions of others, you know what I mean? That agent man, he told me, be careful what you tweet, and I am. I don't troll. I try to be civil with everyone I speak to as if they're stood right in front of me. I stick to hard facts and logic. I did nothing at all to warrant being treated like that. So then we get down to what this is really all about, which your man revealed in his comment about my social media history is a little bit right-wing. Right-wing, mind, he didn't say far right, just right-wing. Well, no, it ain't. I ain't right-wing. And you can check out any one of my YouTube videos or read my Twitter timeline and you'd work that out. If you're too stupid to understand it, what can I say? But putting that aside, what's wrong with being right-wing anyway? I mean, is balancing politics a crime these days? Because of New Zealand, does that mean that anyone that's vocal in that they don't subscribe to mainstream status quo politics should expect to have bad things happen to them and unjust things happen to them? Because I'm looking at the news these days and it seems that that is the case. Look, I totally respect security services doing their jobs if they think there is a genuine threat. It's a bit like airport security, you know, it might piss some people off, but if there's a choice between that and your plane exploding, I'll take it. However, I find it very worrying how poorly these experts seem to be in discerning between who does and doesn't pose a genuine threat. I mean, a fucking monkey could have worked out that I wasn't a terrorist, yet untold time and resources have been spent going after me, when we always see the lion's share of terrorist attacks is carried out by people who are already supposed to be on some sort of watch list. You know, they call this counter-terrorist intelligence, but I ain't seeing 1 ounce of intelligence going on. I just see a load of fucking incompetent idiots fucking around on Twitter. Anyway, they're paying to fix my door, they're gonna be compensating me for a night my life ain't getting back, and if they think I'm changing my tune to suit them, they can kiss my fucking ass. Aside from that, yeah, Airsoft was good fun, man. If you ever get the chance, give it a spin, because yeah, it's a right good laugh. Big thanks to the folks down at the local Airsoft here in Bath. I won't say which one, because I don't want to get in the wrong crowd. And a massive shout to my man JC, who would have had every reason to flip out with all the trouble I caused. But that guy, one of the coolest cats on the planet, and yeah, man, I'll take the heat for you anytime, dude. I'll do a stretch. But that's all the time we got right now. Until the next one, Allah Akbar.